Good morning, everyone. My name is Nicolas Gestin. I'm production director for the project of the gravity-based structure, the foundation for the offshore wind farm of the Fécamp project. So Bouygues Travaux Publics is a leading construction company, and we are currently building this large foundation project for the Fécamp offshore wind farm, and from which we will take out some lessons towards the future development of floating wind farms, which we will discuss today during this speech. In terms of references, what we are achieving today on the Fécamp project is deriving from our previous experience in building large concrete infrastructures, either for maritime projects, as you see on this slide, or for energy-related projects. You see on the top left the Nkossa barge, which is floating since more than 30 years now of Congo. You see on the bottom right the Nouvelle Route de Littoral, a large viaduct which we have built a few years ago off the Réunion Island in the Indian Ocean, for which we built the jack-up that you see on this picture. We built as well the 3-kilometer Tangiers-Caisson breakwater out of concrete caisson. So a number of references to use large concrete structures at sea and to build them in a, I should say, semi-industrialized manner. The first experience that we had for offshore wind appears there on the top right. That's the prototype for the FloatGen project, which was the first floating wind turbine in France, which we built in Saint-Nazaire a few years ago. So the Fécamp project, for those of you who didn't have the chance yet to go on the entrance of the Seine River to visit our construction yard nearby, what are we talking about? That's a 500 megawatt wind farm, which we are currently building for our client EDF Renewables, WPD, as well as Enbridge. So 71 foundations to support 7 megawatt wind turbines that will be produced in Le Havre. You see a picture on the bottom right of on the bottom left, sorry, of the slide, showing those foundations that are in essence large hollow concrete structures that will be filled with gravel material to ensure the stability on the bottom of the seabed. 48 to 54 meters, 5,000 tons each. You see as well a rendition of the equipment of those foundations, because on top of the large concrete structure, we have as well a number of equipment to be fitted, boat landing, the O&M equipment that sit on the top platform that you see to let's say support the operation and maintenance phase of the project. And you see as well the internals, the TP, the transition piece of the foundation, with the switchgear and the various electrical components that will ensure that the foundation plays its role of interface between the wind tower and the seabed and the export of electricity. What have we learned and what are we learning out of the construction of this project? Many things, in fact. First, in terms of design, the design of the concrete gravity structures takes into account all kinds of considerations going from the geotechnical to the structural design, to the design of the internals and the equipment of the unit, as well as getting used and knowledgeable about the needs of our client in terms of operation and maintenance. We are learning a lot as well in terms of the construction challenges. That's a huge aspect of the project. We are delivering this project, the construction part, in slightly more than 1 year and a half, so 18 to 20 months, which is a challenge to deliver 71 such units that are similar but not identical one with each other. And for this, we had to achieve an industrial production of the concrete structures. It looks like an automotive construction plant, except that you don't have the cars that are moving at the various steps of the construction, but instead you have each tool, each construction team that is moving from one foundation to the other to ensure their duties and their needs. We've learned as well, of course, after the construction about the installation aspects with everything that relates to the moving, handling of those large concrete structures in order to perform their load-out and installation at sea. You see there on the picture a view of the gantry cranes that are used to lift off the foundations on the construction yard. That you can see on live if you go nearby to the site a few kilometers away from here. The site itself that you see there is a large yard, 27 hectares. We have set up the production through 4 independent production lines, each line being served by a central line of sliding tower cranes that you see there, luffing jib cranes that have been used in order to serve all the various steps of the construction. Each foundation is built in 11 unitary steps, going from the civil work itself, the various lifts that you see there on the screen. And after that, we have the post-tensioning, the painting of the foundation to ensure the marine visibility. You have the steps of equipment, installing the boat landing, the O&M equipment, the electrical integration afterwards, and finally the commissioning of the facilities and the finalization, removal of accesses in order to get to be ready for load-out status for the foundations. Each of the production lines has been fitted with one complete set of formworks, so 5,000 tons of formworks in total, with each formwork moving from one GBS to the other in order to have repetitivity, to have all the construction teams accustomed to their construction duties. After the construction itself, which is about to finish now, we have the phase of installation at sea. The Fécamp wind farm is about 15 kilometers away from the shore. So after being loaded, as you see there, on cargo barges, 2 of which currently being in the harbour of Le Havre, the unit will be towed on these barges to the site, and after 9 to 15-hour journey, after crossing of the harbour, they will be taken and lowered down on the ground, on the seabed ground, by a heavy lift vessel that will be mobilized during the summer to perform this task. Once the foundation is installed, it will be ballasted using gravel material in order to ensure the on-bottom stability. And anti-scar will be installed in order to avoid the erosion of the bedding layer under the foundation. So, what do we take from these onshore gravity-based structures to go towards concrete floater solution? That's an interesting next step. Obviously, floating wind is the next frontier and the next challenge, and we believe that there is a lot that can be learned from the execution of the Fécamp project and imported into the development of those concrete structures for floaters. So we have worked and we are working currently on a design that you see there of concrete hull using a relatively simple geometry with a 3-star shape, so 3 pontoons that you see on the rendition on the screen, with one central pontoon that will support the wind tower. The interest being that the design is scalable or adjustable depending on the size of the wind turbine, as well as of the conditions, the meteorological condition on the site. And we see a lot of potential for this solution to be industrial in its production, and therefore to become cost competitive eventually when it comes to life cycle cost of energy for these units. There's always a choice or a debate, and it's been long already in the oil and gas industry, between using concrete units concrete floaters or structures, or steel structures. That was the case as well in the offshore wind, and a lot of steel structures had been built. We show through Fécamp that concrete structures can be built as well in a time frame that matches the needs of developers, and we believe that technically this material, concrete, stress concrete, has a lot of advantages also for floaters. It has a lower sensitivity to the fatigue compared to steel, and steel structures tend generally to be designed quite significantly by fatigue loadings. From there, there's also a low maintenance or OPEX relating to the structure itself, which is a good benefit. Typically, the concrete structures, they are designed for a very long life. We often or almost always design the marine concrete structures for 100-year lifespan, which is far more than what is generally used for offshore wind, and this is an advantage as well. Low carbon footprint is also something that we can put in front when it comes to concrete structures. And finally, we don't have to forget, I believe, that these offshore wind projects are expected to generate local spin-offs, economic spin-offs, in terms of bringing employment, opportunities for partners as well to provide elements that will enter in the construction. And there's a high expectancy about having these units delivered, built locally as much as possible. And again, what we are doing on the Fécamp gravity-based structures project is a good example of what can be achieved in terms of local employment, as well as in terms of local spin-offs for let's say, regional, local, or national companies. The structure itself that you see is a semi-submersible concept that is relatively well known, which has a good motion behavior, which is expected obviously for a support of a wind tower. It has a good adaptability in terms of dimension to fit the various configuration of waves, HS and periods for that will be encountered depending whether we have mild or harsher environment contributions on the site. The concrete material is bringing, without specific need for heavy ballasting, a heavy hull, which is also beneficial in terms of the hydrodynamic behavior in order to lower down the motions of the unit. Finally, the choice to keep the wind tower on the central pontoon is also beneficial in terms of the stability of the unit, and it also reduces the cyclic solicitations on the hull, which we believe is an advantage as well. The challenge, because we are intervening at the design step, but we are obviously also, and that's, we believe, one of the central parts of the matter, we are intervening at the construction step. And we believe that the design that is proposed there has a lot of advantages when it comes to constructability. There is a high repetitivity in the design that you see there with those cylindrical column-shaped units that you see. We believe as well that this will be quite easy to prefabricate in terms of individual units that can then be brought out together and through stitches assembled with post-tensioning, which we have a lot of experience in. We have as well our capability to design a yard arrangement that will be adjusted in order to meet the needs of our clients in terms of number of units. We're talking about 15, 20, 25 units for a given project. And we believe that we have the capability to design the tools for the construction and for the putting at sea of the units that will match the need for the given projects. In particular, we can say that in terms of installation, those large size units, we are talking about floaters that will have dimensions that can be around, let's say, dimension around 80-90 meters for the large wind turbines. That will be the next step for the offshore wind. So those large-scale units, a significant part will revolve around how we put at sea and how we put afloat these units. And we have good experience for this, having built a number of projects where we had to install 5, sometimes 10,000 tons caissons at sea from the construction yard. So we believe, in conclusion, or in a nutshell, that a lot of experience in terms of producing industrially on a large scale this kind of industrial objects, because it's not only civil works, it's civil works, but it's also electrical components. It's also steel parts that need to be affixed to the units. All of that is something that we have implemented during 1.5 years to deliver 71 foundations, 71 gravity-based structures for a project. And we believe that this experience showcases that the civil works industry can bring also very efficient solutions for the offshore wind, and that this, on top of being now proven through what we are doing, is also bringing a lot of advantages in terms of local content, a capacity to produce these units locally, nearby the end user, I should say, and therefore providing as well opportunities for employment and for economic spin-offs. So this can be replicated tomorrow for floating wind, and I will be happy, as well as my colleagues, Audrey, to discuss with you opportunities in this respect. Thank you.